Kyle from We Will Rock You.
Hey Kyle, how's it going?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm very good. So, where are you situated right now?
Right now, we're sitting in Hamilton, Ontario.
So you're on tour?
Yeah, we're definitely on tour. We've been out for, I think we've been 100 days, 100 shows was our last night, so yeah.
So how's the life of working in theater and singing and all that stuff right now in the cold winter?
It's different, it's different than it was in the U.S. when we were in the southern states and things like that, but it feels good. It's Canada. It's our home. We're used to this. You bring enough, you bring the good clothes and things like that. It's actually quite pretty, so we're enjoying it.
So the voice keeping up and everything?
Oh yeah. You have to take some days off and things like that, but I find a good night out once in a while is actually not a bad thing,
Yeah, so Kyle, We Will Rock You, the musical on tour, is going to be in Scotiabank Centre in Halifax, February 19th. That'll be a real big treat for a lot of Nova Scotians. Will this be your first time in Nova Scotia?
It will be my first time in Nova Scotia. My roommate was from Nova Scotia for about a year when I was living in Toronto, so I've heard a lot of great things and learned a lot of things I have to see. So I'm really quite excited to get out there. That's our closing night as well, so we're going to make sure we give it our all.
Now, when you look at the figures here for We Will Rock You, 16 million people, 19 countries, 24 of Queen's greatest hits, that's remarkable.
Yeah, it's quite the show. It was a huge, because of the movie Bohemian Rhapsody too, right? That came out about a year ago. It's the show that we're in has just seen a huge bump in success. Those theaters are full every night. There's people from all ages too, from 11 all the way up. So it's pretty amazing.
Let's say for you, how long have you been with this production?
So I've been out here since about July of 2019, so quite a while.
Now, influences throughout the years, have they changed much for you, Kyle?
I would say, in high school, I was more into, some harder rock and metal and things like that. Of course, all still, from Canada and things like that, like Strapping Young Lad and Devin Townsend. And then as I got older, I got really into Queen, to tell you the truth. And Queen became one of my favorite bands of all time before I did this. So I was very ready to be in this show.
To this day, have you met Roger Taylor and Brian May?
I have not met them personally, though I've had a lot of personal emails and videos back and forth and sound bites and stuff like that, just due to working with Queen's musical director, Stuart Morley, who's kind of re-queened the whole entire thing. So it's quite amazing to get messages from those guys.
Kyle, could you describe, in a few words, the show itself, for the people of Halifax?
Yeah, of course. The show is mostly it's a Queen show, so it's all about Queen music. That's the main thing. Now, other than that, it's got an amazing story. It's kind of like what you think of the book 1984, like a dystopian future where music has been made illegal, and Killer Queen and Commander Khashoggi are going to make it that way by brain torturing the Bohemians, who are trying to bring back real music.
Wow, that's a pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty big operation, Yeah. So Galileo, Figaro, and Scaramouche are trying to find the real musical instrument to bring back real music.
And we do need real music in 2020. Isn't that true?
That's very true, and that's the whole thing about it. Actually, the show actually speaks well to music now. A lot of music is being made for profit and for money, and made with not real instruments. Where the show is about, what could happen if in 300 years or something, when if it keeps going that way. So we need real music, real instruments, people singing real songs.
What's your favorite Queen album?
A Night at the Opera is my favorite album, mostly because it's the album I fell in love with. Death on Two Legs was the first song I ever heard by Queen that I distinctly fell in love with. Of course, you grow up singing "We Are the Champions." You grow up singing another one bites the dust too, from hockey games, from all these things in Canada. But those songs were kind of those B-side songs. Those really what made me fall in love with Freddie Mercury and Queen.
And Kyle, who else is in the band and the act of the tour?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of us. There's 36 of us on tour. Now there's 16 of us on stage. So myself and Killer Queen, Commander Khashoggi, and then Also, there's a couple more, like I said, Galileo and Scaramouche. And then there's about another 12 Bohemians as well that are trying to bring back real music. But that's all of us.
So how does everybody travel? Is it all flights and or buses, vans?
Totally. So we have three 12 sleeper tour vans, or tour buses. So they sleep 12, and they have kitchens and dining rooms and stuff in them, and a lounge where we do a fair share of partying. And then we have three semi-trucks as well. So there's a big, huge team of us that roll in here when we roll in.
Life on the road, is it comfortable?
Life on the road is kind of what you make of it. You're not in your own bed at all, ever. But it's more of learning how to adapt, to those situations, and you're doing what you love, There's some uncomfortable times. People have families and stuff, and it gets, cold and all the other things, but, it could be worse. That's how I always kind of look at it. I'm having a great time, and it's never uncomfortable for me personally.
Well, Carl, that's awesome, and hopefully you have a great stay in Nova Scotia in February, the 19th of February at the big Scotiabank Centre, and wish you luck and success with this show.
Thank you so much. Really, it's really a pleasure talking to you. I'm really excited to get out to that part of the country and just kind of stay there and hang out and have a few drinks and everybody. So I'm excited.
Excellent stuff. Well, you have a great tour.
All right. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Okay. Bye.